and 73rd Purjangers and Wallhangers Media Network presentation. And of course, we are the Triforce Podcast. Of course, I am your host, Matthew B. Grill, the Matman. And to my left, above the cardboard Kelly, is our Iron Kelly, Kelly Collins, as well as Christopher Bristow, the old man. We have our big brother, Stephen Bucarell, our omnipotent presence that is. And running around the bottom, chewing his bone, is our mascot, Link Diablo, hero of time. But we gather here together because tonight...
We gather here today.
Animated Smallville. Amazon doesn't fear the Reapers. Rats playing Doom, and so much more on the Triforce Podcast. And we want you to hop on over here because...
Play on my Jangers.
Right over to the Purjangers and Wallhangers.com, and I do have a handy audio clip for that.
PJANDWH.com. Now, if I could get all three of you to say it at once, that'd be perfect.
All right, you guys want to try it?
We'll do it on another take. Not right now.
Yeah.
But you'll find the very funny and luggy nutty moments right up top here, as well as last week's Lug Nuts podcast, which was, if we scroll down a bit, Shuttlecraft Concept with Shoe Compartment. Yeah.
You know how when you get in your car, you change your shoes? I've never heard of that. Who the fuck does that?
Skeletor understands.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the last Triforce Podcast.
Never forget.
Bards use jazz hands. Master Chief works at Burger King.
I love our title.
Bards do use jazz hands. I mean, they would be the ones that could pull off jazz hands, you know, or spirit fingers. You know,
finger guns. Finger guns. It's finger guns.
Shooter McGavin guns.
Those, I was about to say,
Shoot baby! Shooter!
I was about to say that's only golfers that could pull off the shooter guns.
You eat
but
pieces of shit for breakfast?
No.
If you hit that second tab, you will find the Walljanger Gaming, where you'll find Big Brother streaming Monday to Friday, set 3 to 5-ish.
Yeah, we'll see.
Going through the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Not tomorrow.
No. Maybe you will find a certain lazy detective
Probably not.
going through taking on the helm tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'll play some. I mean, me. Yeah. I was talking about floor shrimp. But
anyway, we have a show in here.
we do have a show in here somewhere because our first story is a new trailer for Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba's Entertainment District arc, which has been revealed. There's a scroll down. There's a little 1 minute trailer. I know how you love the 1 minute trailers. But to assist the sound, Harushi, fuck all these names.
They're going to a place to help some people named Roy and Ed. They're going to call them. They could
Hashira.
be male or female. Roy is.
So, a major city
names,
to assist the
right?
sound Hashira in his investigation of a series of possible demon-related disappearances with the area's red light district. The trailer reveals
Look,
there
demons
are
are goblin hookers, and we got to do something about it.
You know, you can't have demon and goblin hookers.
We got to stop them from taking the hookers. Kill these demons quickly.
I live for a
We got
dream.
shit to do.
I
Sorta.
dream for a day that hookers are not demon vampires. I feel like that would be a stand that Kennedy would be behind.
Okay.
As the trailer reveals, there are indeed daemons.
Damons.
A whole bunch of Damon Wayans all over operating.
It's like, I'm going to get you, sucker.
Operating within the metropolis. Just nothing but demons. Or demons, rather. operating within the metropolis, and one of them is a member
Don't be
of the
drinking your juice in
feared.
the hood.
In South Central.
And one of them is a member of the feared 12 Uzki.
Oh, not them.
Yeah, man. So the new arc will follow the season's current arc, which was a TV adaptation of this story that was previously adapted into a 2020 movie, Mugen Train, which became the highest-grossing anime movie of all time. Okay. So they have that notch on their belt. But they made it into a TV adaptation. Yeah, I know. No, it really does deserve being heard twice. But the 7-episode arc aired its final chapter on November 28th, while the part of the season was mostly created from footage from the movie. Anime studio Ufotable created a brand new prologue episode centered on the flame Hashira, Kojiro Rizango, as well as 70 brand new scenes and names of characters I will never, ever get right in a million years. But throughout the arc, in order to encourage fans to give the Mugen Train a story, a rewatch, they added in all of this new content for the fans. And, I mean, as far as anime go, Demon Slayer is a fucking drama-filled ride. And I would recommend anybody to watch Demon Slayer all the way through on Funimation. Thank you, old man. But it is well worth the watch because
the girls are watching that right now. So,
God bless their hearts, because that would really, I feel like that would connect with them, because, you know, in the beginning episodes, you see how close the family is together and how quickly that is unraveled. And then you have your, hero seeing, wow, I'm actually really good at this combat thing, and going on from there and impressing people who have been doing combat for a while, like, you got some stuff, kid, which pretty much describes like 5,700 different anime.
So, question regarding anime, not the specific one.
Yes.
But not a question, just a comment I've noticed.
42.
The answer to life in all universe?
yes.
Yeah.
No, so why is it that it just seems like the more Japanimation, the Japan ones, don't give a shit about any kind of content that's freaking weird? So remember how I put in the group chat recently?
I think Big Brother attributes it to the radiation.
I think there's radiation or something, and
So-
all the seafood they eat. The Japanese are weird.
It's sushi mixed with radiation.
Japanese TV?
It's weirder than
reason-
Mexican, like the Mexico TV. If you've seen like Telemundo and all that, like,
No, that's kind of normal, but like
Japanese is completely weird compared to
they're-
that.
Listen. So the reason I'm saying that, remember in the group chat recently, I put that I've started that new anime, Elfen Lied.
Yeah. I have that
It
in my
is-
list.
It started out pretty good, but it's so freaking weird that I had to turn it off. Like, there's like no awkward moments that like
Look.
I don't want to see. Like,
Have you ever had a candy that you're like, you know what? I just need to take like 2 bites of this. I'm going to set it aside, and I'm just going to like come back to this occasionally.
No.
That's what some anime are. You just have to come back to it.
this just has moments in it that's like, yeah, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Oh man, don't
Like
watch
this
Goblin Slayer.
weird shit.
Yeah, no. There are moments in anime which are very either really awkward or just like bad. Just
Yeah,
like-
well, I was reading the reviews after I started watching it. I was like, everyone was saying the same thing, like, oh, it's got a great story, but like some of the stuff they put in it, like,
Just
was like
fast forward to
kind of
those
like,
parts.
oh,
Just skip that shit.
it falls on its
15
face.
seconds
it is a
forward,
lot that you
15
have to skip, but-
seconds.
Although-
So I was just curious if you notice, like the American animes or the ones geared towards more American kids and adults are
Now I
a
will
little
say this.
less strange when it comes to certain things.
One anime that I did check out on Netflix, and it's a Miller World property, which Mark Miller, Netflix bought his comic fiefdom, I'll call it, for lack of a better word. And they're now producing that property. Now we're starting to see the fruits of that content, and Super Crooks is one of the properties that came out with that. I'm actually very impressed with Super Crooks, but it has that kind of like weirdness to it, but it's also an anxiety weirdness to where you don't know what you're going to get into the episode. I usually I'll knock off like one or two of them, and then I'll just let that one sit. But it's still really good, but I have to take that at chunks. Like 1 or 2 episode chunks.
Yeah, you also have to look at Japanese culture is a little bit more accepting.
I wasn't trying to go into in too much detail what I'm talking about.
Not into that.
You're kind of hitting it on the point with that, Chris. Like what was shown was like, oh, I wouldn't want to like watch that ever.
Man,
what we
Steins
deem
Gate,
is like,
you'll see.
What we deem as cringeworthy here, they're more like, as Kat would say, no kink shaming, because they're a little bit more. They were repressed for fucking ages, and now
Japan has it as a law as no kink shaming, because some of the shit you see in anime is downright. The only way you can describe it is from. Hang on, let me look it up from Webster's. Fucking
illegal.
Fucking weird.
Illegal in the United States.
In the United States, yes, but fucking weird is the official dictionary definition. But a lot of anime or animated properties may actually have some potential, like this next story. Because Michael Rosenbaum confirms Smallville animated project. IGN recently caught up with Rosenbaum, who confirmed that indeed an animated continuation is in the works, despite no official announcement at the DC Fandom. Here's what he had to say about the proposed series. It's something that we were passionate about, something we love. Hopefully, we're going to obviously share with Warner Brothers when the time is right, and hopefully we'll be able to work with them. And that's about all we can say about that right now, Rosenbaum.
Oh, so you haven't asked Warner Brothers if you're allowed to do it yet? Oh, okay.
No, but fans have actually pressured and found leaked footage that this was a thing after the fandom of just Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling just happening to show up at the 20th anniversary of Smallville. And
just random.
It being on Fandom, and then just like, no, this was a really great show. We could have done a lot of stuff with it. It would have been awesome, but oh, that's the past. Now, but they actually have a future with this now, to where they can actually have legs in the animated universe. We've seen this with the Michael Keaton comics that are out, to where they have Marlon Wayans as Robin. And
I thought you were gonna say Blank Man.
No, Marlon Wayans is Blank Man. Marlon Wayans is Robin, and fuck it, what's his name? Lando Calrissian is Two-Face. Billy D.
Williams.
Said it before you. Thank you. Not that it's a contest, but I won.
Okay.
I took my fuck it all before this episode, so I'm good.
So did I. But it's one of those things to where
FUKITOL, 1,500 milligrams.
You have these properties from our childhood to where, like, oh man, I really would have wished that this property would have had legs and continued. Now you have that opportunity, if all the people are still alive, to do it in animated version.
Or not in prison.
Well, you can get around the prison thing. Death is one thing you can't get around, at least recording. Well, recent recording wise, we'll see what AI and quantum computers can do. But my question to you two is, what series from your childhood would you love to see continue from this point? Because Smallville is one of those series, and Batman the Animated Series, which is also getting a continuation. These are two shows, and X-Men, the 97 X-Men. We're getting all these continuations from our childhood. Which ones would you want that aren't announced now because
The
Rocco's
90,
Modern Life
93
already
to
tried
95 Spider-Man.
it. Ooh, Spider-Man the animated series would be really good.
93, 95. That run. Yes.
That original, like,
Does it have to be like comics?
Whatever
No.
you want, buddy.
No, whatever you want.
if you want to see Captain Kangaroo, we can make it fucking. Oh no, he's dead.
He's a little bit dead, so that's going to require necromancy.
PJ and the Bear. There's a novel concept. The man with his monkey.
I would have liked to see. Okay, this is gonna sound stupid, but as a family, we used to watch Home Improvement.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
When that ended, I was like upset because I loved that
The
show.
weird,
That was great.
the weird goth episode with the one kid, and he just like got real fucking, and he made that weird horror movie. Yeah, no, that is a great choice because Home Improvement is fucking an amazing choice. It's almost like it inspired something.
like cartoon wise though, I have to go with Chris, like Spider-Man. Actually, probably more. I'd probably say X-Men.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Well, I mean, X-Men 97, they are continuing from the point we left, which
I know, that's why I
the
said
original series is on Disney Plus, so you can watch all that shit and catch up.
Hopefully they fix the chronological order part.
I hope so too. Oh my god, that was
They put themselves in so much of a mess. Like, good luck. Good luck.
You know
getting
what
out of there.
would be good if they did? If they did an animated Adam West Batman. You just find someone to do the voice.
They did do that.
No?
Yeah, it was Batman, Brave and the Bold.
Wasn't very
It was It was like a '60s Batman animated series. Yeah,
Nobody messes with Adam Wee.
yeah, they did. They did that though.
Oh, so it weed all over the place, huh?
Yeah. Hang on, I got that one. It's
Oh,
2 pages from now.
And finally, gargoyles. Give me gargoyles.
Oh,
Fucking
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Gargoyles. A continuation of that would be awesome. Like,
And
I
then
think the last episode was like Gargoyle. Was it Goliath's
and-
Dream?
I have no idea.
It was something like that. It's
I
where
remember watching
keep
it
going
live.
off of that, man.
And the coup de grace spawned the animated series from the one they did on HBO.
Okay, yeah, and it's on HBO Max now too. Spawn
Yes,
would be
it
good.
is.
One I thought just off the top of my head was Captain Bucky O'Hare.
Rocco's Modern Life.
No, they already tried that and it was horrible. But
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Bobby's World.
Bobby's World, fucking
yeah.
right.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Don't you know?
Don't you know, Bobby? Don't you know?
But don't you know? There's.
I mean, I'm sure Howie Mandel can go back to it.
He's kind of busy.
I always forget that was Howie.
Yeah.
He will be sanitizing his hands with this next story because there's spiders involved. Although we haven't confirmed multiple spiders.
A man spider?
Maybe a Spider-Man? Because Spider-Man No Way Home drops an official trailer and more. Holy
freaking
shit.
Holy shnikey.
Shimmy criminy.
But that is how serious it is. Spider-Man in the Rain. Marvel dropped the latest trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home with a ton of lack of Spider-Man in it. But we see Peter Parker talking to MJ about how since he got bitten by the spider, he's only had 1 week to actually appreciate himself as Peter Parker. And then we hear Doctor Strange telling him that once they performed that mystic spell that made everybody forget that he was Spider-Man, they've been getting visitors from other people in the multiverse. And
really?
from that
That's
goblin
nice.
bomb, they are not nice. And Doctor Strange also asked him and his little spider gang to Scooby-Doo that shit and get them all out of their universe. However, Doctor Strange also said the only way is that they all die fighting Spider-Man. So there's a little bit of a problem with Spider-Man's no-kill policy there. You know,
He's killed a few people?
well, he doesn't kill.
Oh.
That's his thing. Like Batman, he doesn't kill. But they were making fun of Otto Octavius. We see the magic spider suit. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here that is. This movie is going to be great. They're already pre-sales are on sale now for the tickets, which are being sold on eBay for like $1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's coming out.
I mean,
December
it did break
17th.
the website.
Yeah, December 17th. It broke the internet once they dropped the ticket
also
pre-sales on Spider Monday.
I also have tickets to Middle Earth to sell if someone would like some. Then
Yeah.
Middle Earth. Anyone going to Middle Earth?
No, but
I got a
here,
printer.
Spider-Man, this
Or I could
scene
get a
really makes sense now because Spider-Man is trying to find a way to not send these people home without killing them. Because apparently Doctor Strange is just like, fuck it, kill them.
I'm with Doctor Strange. Fuck them.
That's it. Only way
Get
to
back
do
to
it
your
is kill them.
universe. That's it.
You gotta off them. We got our classic Goblin, a different Goblin. We have MJ falling like the classic, Gwen Stacy thing. And here at the end, this is what has fans really speculating because there was a portion at the end where they see like the reptile's head jut down like somebody's kicking him to where we're still thinking multiple Spider-Man. And there's the Gwen Stacy moment. But Spider-Man No Way Home
Mary Jane always falling.
really has fans captivated. We've heard Tom Holland say, I don't know, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the last one. I don't know. However, Spider-Man movie producer Amy Pascal has told fans that No Way Home is not the last Spider-Man movie.
Why would you do that?
She says, this is not the last Spider-Man movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We are getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. We're thinking of this as 3 films, and now we're going on to make the next 3. So there's Star Wars in that shit. We have, this is our original trilogy. Now we're going to get the sequel trilogy of Spider-Man films, which is going to break the mold on Spider-Man of what we know actually now, to where, no, you don't do more than 3. Now, with Sony and Marvel behind this, we're getting 2 trilogies of
Be
Spider-Man.
like, who do you think we are, Valve?
We're not afraid of 3s, motherfucker. So, Kelly, where do you want to see them go in this next trilogy? Because obviously, this is like they're ending off the No Way Home trilogy with a Spider-Verse. So where do you want to see the next trilogy to go with Spider-Man?
As you know, I wasn't always the biggest Spider-Man fan.
That's why I asked you first.
I know. That's why you did. You put me right on the spot. I would like to see more linking up. I would like to see more of the multiverses linking up more.
More different characters involved with Spider-Man. Like, they want to involve the Fantastic Four. If you're doing another trilogy of movies,
I was actually
involved Johnny Storm.
I was actually thinking about going that direction.
Or the other guy.
Because Fantastic Four could have been so much better. And I think if they did something like that, they could
Like any
definitely
Fantastic
revive
Four.
revive it. It would definitely make it a lot better because
Well, you look at the games.
Even a subpar 4 would be nice.
You look at the games with Spider-Man, and even in this the PlayStation Spider-Man game, you still had Johnny Storm and different characters coming in and saying hi to Spidey. So you still had that Marvel interconnectiveness. And that was really one of the better things of the game. Old man, where are you siding with it? Where do you want to see the next trilogy of Spider-Man movies to go? Are you looking
Connect
forward
Venom.
to the Venom? Or, like,
Connect Venom.
do you want to connect it to like the King in Black, to where you start getting into the
but
symbiote universe?
I want Venom to be the end game, like of this. I want the inception of the Sinister Six first,
let me ask you.
and then Venom
Did you
to
watch?
come in.
Did you watch Venom 2? And the end
Not yet.
credit? All right. Well, watch
Let
Venom
me-
2, and then I think that will more be solved in No Way Home. Because I'll say it right now, I think Venom is going to be one of the Sinister Six in this movie.
Let me ask you this. Like, all right, since I didn't see 2 as well.
What about Morbius too?
Well, that's to come out next year, so I think that's later. So that's, I think, why we see Michael Keaton, because multiverse right now, we're tying everything together.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Chris. When you say Venom, so you're talking about like the new Venom movies, not the Tobey Maguire.
Tom Hardy.
Correct. Okay. Not Tobey Maguire.
I still want. So I want a
Topher
different
Grace.
version of Venom. Like I want Tom Holland to get his black suit.
But you don't want.
Giggity.
See, I haven't seen, like you said, I haven't seen. I haven't seen Venom 2.
Title of the podcast.
So I haven't seen Venom 2 yet, so I don't know how that's going with the way that Tom Hardy plays it, because he plays it as like more of a good guy than a bad guy in the first one.
Well, he's an anti-hero in the first one.
Yeah. So Spider-Man being such just a hero,
Well,
that's
that's
kind of
where
hard, because then you're going to make Tom Hardy's character become a lot worse. It's just I can't see him doing that.
Eddie Brock was always
narcissistic prick.
He's a narcissistic
always out for himself.
but he was never evil. He was
we never said he was never evil. That's the definition of an anti-hero.
In the comics and in the animated Spider-Man series, he was always spiteful against Peter Parker and Spider-Man for being better than him.
You can have a rival and still be a good person.
You can still have that
still be
rivalry
self-centered
between
and be
them.
a good person.
What I'm trying to say is how you said you want to tie those together. Would you make them allies, or would they go back to being enemies?
They would go back to being rivals. It would be like a one-upsmanship.
But would it be? What I'm saying though is, how would you, knowing that the character that Tom Hardy's playing in that Venom series, and knowing how Peter Parker is, and especially with Venom being that way, how would you make that? Like, who would be the villain in that movie?
Nobody.
No one would.
You would have it. It's a very.
Do you see where I'm trying to go
But
with
it's
this?
a very common trope right now, is not having a villain and just having a misunderstanding and having that be the main.
You're allowed to
plot
tell a
point of the movie.
story, and like Venom can think that Spider-Man's an ass, and Peter Parker can think Venom's an ass, and then they have this come to Jesus moment that we're actually doing the same thing against each other. Why don't we work together? And then
exactly what I'm trying to say is,
so we have the title of the next Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man: Tale of Two Asses.
Spider-Man comes to Jesus.
Insert symbiote suit.
The only reason I'm asking is how much content could you get out of that for if he said the next series.
Well,
how much content could you get out of them too?
Multiverse of opportunities.
I know you would have to add multiple. So you have to add more people than just Venom, is what I'm saying.
So here's my take on it. We're going to get another version of Tom Hardy Venom, because this whole multiverse is going to change.
You've already
how
seen
Venom is being portrayed now is not.
But you've already seen 4 different
inception.
symbiotes in these 2 different movies. I will say that. You've seen
but
they had 2 symbiotes in the first movie. They have Carnage, and I think one of the other symbiotes comes back in the second. So you already have this layer of people. So now introducing them into the MCU, now you have those, you have mutants, you have a whole bunch of different shit. So that is going to prolong the amount of content and the movies that you can make, because now you have all these different ingredients that you can add into this movie.
So are we on the path of like a multiversal war? And that's the question. And if we are, we can treat the Venomverse as its own world.
But they're not doing that.
They won't. They want to see them 2 together, but there is a way to do it without.
But Amy Pascal saying, "Hey, we got 3 more deep." I think they're knuckle deep into this. They're going wrist in, at least elbow in the long term.
Well, they can elbow to the next story, so that's what I'm going to say.
Because how fitting, we're elbow deep into the Sarlacc pit with this next story, because Book of Boba Fett drops a teaser trailer. Next Star Wars story from Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau. Fett and the mercenary Fennec Shan may not win. Navigate the galaxy's underworld when they return to the sand of Tatooine territory once ruled by Jabba the Hutt and his criminal syndicate. The Book of Boba Fett premieres on December 29th on Disney+. There's a power vacuum. Favreau told Empire magazine once about where Boba Fett picks up post-credit scenes in the ending of The Mandalorian Season 2 to set up the spinoff. Because Jabba is gone, Jabba was clearly a very strong and imposing leader. I don't know why. He was a slug, but everybody was afraid of him. Like, what was his actual... Could he just, like, wrap up around you and just, like, crush you? Like,
He was just gangster, man. He
why was
like
everybody afraid of a
gangster.
slug? Did nobody have salt?
It was reputation from his younger days.
Just pour a bunch of salt on him, you'll be fine.
Nobody said, hey, Jabba, let's take a trip to the beach. Nobody thought of it.
Lives in the desert.
You already
No,
got to
well,
say it.
they couldn't say anything because Hadafosuna.
Hagahona Sura.
But he was an imposing leader for some reason.
Inona Husna.
Strong,
listen,
imposing leader.
He was a powerful crime lord because his family was powerful crime lords. So
It's all about the family.
yeah, it was basically he was like the like the Don Corleone. I mean, his family, they were worthy of So
They ruled
He was
with an
worthy.
iron fist. And
yeah,
Favreau says you pull somebody like that out of the
Nothing stronger than
ecosystem of
family.
Tatooine and Hutt space in general, and you're going to have the opportunity that's ripe with the gangster genre.
and you
that-
hear about it in Clone Wars, by the way, that about
yeah.
his family being a huge crime organization.
You see it in the
and
games as well.
They hold
The
a lot
Hutts.
of power.
The Hutt Syndicate is very powerful. And with this, it's the gangster genre.
Apparently, they own a big portion of the galaxy.
Yeah. It speaks to the American
Not
soul
wrong.
because the gangster genre is very popular with everything. And then you have Bounty Hunter, and then you come out with a gangster saga. Like, that's a smart play on fucking Star Wars Disney move because you're playing to your audience. Hey, this is a bounty hunter. He's just trying to make his way, but he's a good guy. Now you got fucking Boba Fett, who I guess you could call him a child war trauma
He's a clone.
clone
His
veteran
dad
thing.
got his head chopped off
It's true.
There was a lot of trauma there.
right in front of him.
I would imagine he had to.
He did try. And
That's
kill
some
Jedi
heavy
for a few
PTSD
years.
shit.
Was there a psychologist in the bottom of that Sarlacc pit?
He went to prison.
No, I'm just like, no, you'll fuck.
Because he was so much better of a person when he came out of that Sarlacc pit. I mean, maybe that's that come to death moment, but
Well, it's called perspective.
It's
when
all
you're
that.
when you're being devoured and chewed on
Well,
for
even
almost 1,000 years.
in the first trailer that we saw of Book of Boba Fett, he was saying, look, Jabba ruled with an iron fist. I'm trying to rule with understanding and respect. So
and an iron fist.
He is ruling with respect, but I feel like he's going the Jedi way of like, look, what happened? Sets the lightsaber down. No, what happened? You know, that real intimidating, but still honest and, you know, different kind of perspective than you would have gotten from Jabba, you know? And that's where you're seeing Boba Fett as a very efficient bounty hunter, but now going into that leadership role of a crime syndicate, you know? And I would almost love to see like a little underlying, you know, Crimson Sun with like Darth Maul coming up underneath of him and having that fucking dichotomy of like a battle in like, you'd probably have to do that in like a second season. But
It's kind of what it's one reason why I love Star Wars. There's so many characters that you can get so deep with, and they could just forever keep going.
oh, you could have Hanzo in there.
You could just keep going.
Hanzo!
Yeah.
Everyone loves Hanzo. Oh man, I hope they have Hanzo in the first season. That would be so great. Everyone loves Hanzo.
You know what I mean though? Like there's like so many places you could go in
Yeah.
Star Wars. It's just any backstory would be interesting.
It doesn't matter where you go in that galaxy. You can make up a fucking name and a planet, and it could be the dildo of dicks, and that's a fucking Star Wars planet. And everything looks like kind of like a dick, but just like
Except
not
the Ewok
enough.
movie. The Ewok movie sucked. So other than that, everything else was good.
I mean, they're furry bears. Like that's like putting a camera on Link. Like, how much are you really getting out of that?
Exactly. It was terrible. They're little teddy bears. Nobody wants to see that all day.
What about that one thing I put in the family chat a while ago about Furbies? How they're actually like predators because they have forward-facing eyes. How fucking terrifying is that? It's a whole fleet, like a flock of Furbies, just ready to nibble at your calves.
I used to work with a guy that looked exactly like the Furby.
Wow, that is really
What?
creepy.
Was he human?
Yeah.
Very hairy,
That's
apparently.
what they told me. I didn't ask any questions.
Do you work with birds? I mean, is it bird?
Long
Look,
time ago.
he checked out human on the form. It was fine. Didn't know there was a checkbox for human, but he checked it out. He actually wrote
I'm
it
going
in
to
himself.
check non-sentient.
Yeah. But Book of Boba Fett, we'll check it out on December 29th on Disney Plus. But another thing we'll check out in the future is a casting for a new show, which is Natasha Liu Bordizzo is to play Sabine Wren on Disney Plus's Star Wars Ahsoka show. Which
Yay.
you see the picture here. First off, gorgeous girl, perfect casting. If you've ever watched Star Wars Rebels, you know.
If you
Sabine
haven't,
Wren.
get off your ass.
You know, even Big Brother's watched it. He loved it.
Twice.
It was such a good show. And now we have Sabine Wren, Ahsoka. We have this Mandalorian who's really kind of psychopathic in her pyrokinetic explosive abilities, but really has an affinity for the arts and graffiti. So she's an artist. And you're just a judgmental prick with your Furby in the background.
It's the guy that he used to work with.
Yeah, he looks just like that. That's what he looked like. He looked like that. Yeah.
Nice little tie here.
Hey,
George.
I haven't seen. Oh no, that's a picture.
George, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh,
Oh,
that's
no,
a Furby.
that's
Oh, I'm so
different.
sorry. But
Sorry, I thought you were another guy.
I like that they are adding in Rebels and different characters from the animated universe, and they're not necessarily tying themselves to the person who did the voice acting. And now you're
As
getting,
they should not.
you have Sabine Wren, you have your weird multicolored Mandalorian of death and explosions, you know, and limited series written by Dave Filoni, who executive produced along with Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy. No additional details are known about the Ahsoka series, but we do assume that it's going to pick up right where it left off, just like where they're going with Book of Boba Fett. We're going to see Ahsoka, and it is also said that Hayden Christensen is involved with this series as well. They are saying that it's probably flashbacks only with the Hayden Christensen.
That'll be good.
Although, even if you just like slap a fucking stuntman in a suit and have a Darth Vader fight, that would be dope.
Even if you go back to like training,
Yeah.
because you just covered like the war, there was like training before that, and that could be cool.
And
Right.
how he got his Padawan and shit, you could have that whole like emotional tie that we didn't see in Clone Wars. And, you know, because Anakin was not a proper Jedi. He had emotional connections to everyone, which you're not supposed to have.
issues. Yes, he had a few issues.
He had attachment issues.
He had attachment issues.
But he was so powerful in the Force to like, you know what? Fuck his.
father
He's a little
problems.
bit, you know, Anakin's a little fucked up, but
A little bit.
you know,
yeah.
he gets the
It's
job
very-
done, man. I'm gonna let
You know
him
what?
go.
Everybody is.
Look, it's a war. We're gonna look the other way.
You know, that was it. Like, he's
You know
powerful.
what? We'll deal with it after.
Fuck it. We'll deal with it later. And then everyone died.
Turns out that wasn't such a good policy.
But a good policy is casting her as Sabine Wren, because I think that's actually strong casting, which is what Disney is really strong with. I don't know if they're using the same casting person from that they do with Marvel, but they got some strong casting people over there. So we'll have to see how this is going, because we're getting a strong with this in Obi-Wan. We're getting a strong sense of like this emotional connection to Vader and the other side that we haven't seen, which I'm actually really excited for. With Obi-Wan, you have this mentor processing his Padawan, his prized pupil, who was like, oh, he's on the council. Nobody else has done this. I'm the best fucking master ever. Holy shit, you're Lord Vader. And then you have Ahsoka like, oh my God, what the fuck happened to Master? Like, and then after Rebels, she realizes like, shit, Lord Vader is Master. What the hell happened when I was left? I was gone for 5 minutes.
Not really.
I was getting a cup of coffee.
That was it. I just went to
Went out for
Starbucks.
some coffee. What the hell? You turned to the dark side? One cup of coffee?
Like all I did was get out of the shower.
That was it. It was a short time. What the fuck did you do? Oh yeah, it's not kind of killed all the younglings.
When you were out, I went to the dark side. Oh, okay. You want some cream?
This is kind of an afterthought. Oh yeah, Padme died too. Huh, that sucks. So
explains the mask.
that's just
Cry
COVID
it out,
regulation.
buddy. Cry it out. You can take the mask off.
Even the Empire has COVID regulation. But no, I think that there's a lot of different.
You walk into a supermarket looking dressed like Vader now, nobody bats an eye.
No,
Yep.
not at all. I saw a guy.
I find
with,
that eggplant
tomatoes.
disturbing.
I saw a guy with like a gas mask on just walk in, and I was like, "It's fine. That's
It's
fine.
totally normal now.
That's normal.
It's like
You got money for the mask."
He's getting his bread and milk for the New World Order.
it's like living in a video game. There's a guy with a gas mask for some reason. Some guy wearing a clown wig.
changed. But no, I definitely like how you're seeing the different perspectives, almost like you would see in any other kind of like deep film or movie, being that forethought being put into these series, and that's expanding the universe, but it's also connecting more people than you would normally see, because you that's a Star Wars thing, that's this thing, but it's actual deep connected story, which is actually really intuitive in its own right. So it's something that you always hope for with your properties.
Is it though?
Yeah, sometimes.
Not all the time.
Depends on the area.
The only
I'm just more intrigued as with Bane as a car mechanic service writer. That would be an awesome show.
Okay.
I'm sorry to tell you, but your car failed state inspection for your wiper blades. It's going to be $40. That's bullshit. What did you say? Yeah, no. Capitalist Bane does not work.
Because
But
it's not part of the New World Order.
one thing that is part of the New World Order is this next story, because Mass Effect live action series reportedly nearing development at Amazon.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mass Effect video game franchise could be the latest to jump from consoles to the small screen.
See
Amazon
it Monday to
Studios.
Friday, 3 to about 5.
Walljanger
Over on
Gaming.
Walljanger Gaming. Find it on platforms
This is
everywhere.
different. This is a small screen production.
Oh, okay. It's
Different
not that.
than the other small screen.
Oh.
Yeah, this isn't phone screen. This is TV screen, because Amazon
Watch it on
Studios
the computer.
is reportedly nearing the end of negotiations for the upcoming adaptation of the games. While there has been speculation about the Mass Effect series or film for some time, news of Amazon Studios coming close to securing a deal to develop a live-action series comes from a recent report by Deadline. Further details were not provided, but the show is reportedly just one of many genre projects that Amazon Studios plans to develop for the future. Amazon head of Amazon, Jennifer Salke, I don't know, has said you will see us continuing to invest in fantasy genre of all kinds. We have a genre-focused team on the ground in studios who work tirelessly with our creative partners on those slates, and you can look forward to more. So Amazon is not a streaming service that I traditionally like. I don't habitually go back to them. Besides if I want to go back and buy something for somebody for a birthday.
Every now and then they hit gold.
They do. Like, they have those certain shows which really kind of hit the mark, but they're not Netflix. You know what I mean? They're not Funimation. They're that streaming service you will habitually go back to. And hey, what do they have out? You know, HBO Max, I've noticed I've continuously gone back to that. Like, oh, what did you guys put out? Like, what do you got in that catalog? Amazon has never been that streaming service to do that for me. Have you guys found that as well?
No, for only a couple shows.
You know, there's like, oh, they got this, The Expanse.
Yeah.
That's one I absolutely
Invincible,
fucking love.
The Boys.
Yeah.
The one where if Germany won the
Upload.
war, I can't remember. We talked about it before.
Upload is great. But there's not.
The Man in the High Castle.
Man in High
Yes.
Castle. Yeah,
Yes.
That was really good.
But they have like one-offs. Like, hey, this show's good. Oh, that one's good too. But
And
it's
then I'll
not
come back later.
enough for you to continue to go back.
It's not a staple.
It's
like
not enough-
unless you're
alone. All right. Now, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you're getting so much.
Marvelous
yes,
Miss Maisel.
Marvelous Miss Maisel. But if you're an Amazon Prime member, you're getting so much else with that deal that you're not necessarily just focusing on that streaming content.
Yeah.
And that's where they're getting you. But they're also taking their time to develop these great shows. So, you know, everyone can't be a hit, but they do have a good track record just with all the numbers that we listed off right here.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, Marvelous Miss Maisel, they just confirmed, I think, like a season 4 or 5 for that shit.
Good.
And I'll watch it because
4. Yeah, 4.
4. And I'll watch it because it was good. The first season, once I watched it after
And
the
she's got
second
big
season, was good.
tits, You know.
Yeah.
I heard Yellowstone's good. Is that Amazon? No.
Could you
No,
turn
that
the
is
brightness
on. It's
your-
on Hulu actually right now and Peacock.
Now, my main question is, anybody actually still watching Apple TV?
Is that still a thing?
That's still a thing?
Okay.
Yes, it's still a thing.
Okay. I mean,
C, the show C with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista's in the second season is worth the watch.
is
I
it
will
spelled just C, the letter C? Or is it
S-E-E.
S-E-E or S-E-A-E?
SEE.
Or S-E-A-E-E-E-I?
Or is it spelled
SEE.
BJANDWH.com?
I
The whole
would like to
premise is
say-
that the
it's
human
spelled
race
last
went
way.
blind and they have learned to adapt. And there's it's now like tribal. So it's pretty cool.
No, it's still tribal. It's still tribal. We didn't go far from off of that. We're still tribal.
Oh, no, we didn't. But,
Don't
that's
worry.
Besides the point.
We're
Yeah,
still
the
there.
tech, of course.
We're still there. Don't worry.
We're going to
But-
get stuff.
Did you guys watch The Tick?
I loved
yeah,
the
was
Tick.
amazing.
That's
And
an
then they
Amazon show.
canceled it. And I'm like, you get a good show and you fucking cancel it? What is wrong with you? It was just like the original Tick, though. And it didn't get long screen time, but it was still amazing. And I thought the Amazon, the Tick, was perfectly done.
Of course, The
Yes, it
Boys.
was.
Oh, The Boys. Yeah, and their next season. I can't wait for that to drop. A lot like our next story. I can't wait for this to drop next Saturday, December 4th. I really hope that our Iron Kelly could be there as well. But Christopher Bristow, the old man, and myself will be at the Aston Iceworks for Podcast for Cancer, for a fundraiser for Jake Long.
They're not giving out cancer. We cleared that up last week.
Yeah, no. That's not a door prize. That's
That's not.
No.
A door. I was told they misled me.
no. You'll get a buffet, a voucher
Ooh, a
for
buffet.
2 free drinks, and 1 entry for a door prize.
What type of drinks?
But you will also, if you can't make it there, but you still want to donate, you just hop over to Vimeo and go to at OCSN -donations and make your donation today. Old man, myself, Christopher Bristow, and Frank One Punch Percy will be there talking luggy and nuttiness right there for a
Yep.
slot. But we're going to be part of the main goal of getting funds for Jake Long and his medical expenses for cancer, man. Which, fuck cancer, and it's very expensive. So
Yeah, his father got esophageal cancer, so yeah, it's unfortunate, but he just wants to, Jake wants to offset the cost of what it's going to be. So
yeah, man, and that's the main benefit of going out there to help him, because nobody should go out there alone with this, because it's something that plagues everybody. Everybody knows somebody who's been affected by cancer, and it's one of those things that we need to band together and say, fuck cancer, help this guy out. And we're going to be there live. Our first charity event. Obviously, this is the 3rd year anniversary of Purge Hangers and Wall Hangers in its current state coming together. So this is the perfect event to banner around and gather together to help this man try to get some expenses down for a costly future. So
yes, sir.
Definitely wanted to highlight this. We have been highlighting it, and it's one of those things that you can't stop, but you can definitely try to help somebody out on the back end. Giggity. A lot like this next story.
Right.
I don't know how that segues in, but we're just going to work it in.
I normally listen for a segue, but there was no segue
there. There wasn't. It was just we're just switching gears now. Shifted to 5th. Because a new Marvel MMO.
That was a grinding segue.
Oh, yeah, that was a grindy shift into this story, but we popped it in there because a new Marvel MMORPG could be in the works from Dimensional Ink Studios, which, if you don't know what they have done, a little thing called DC Universe Online.
Huh.
Yeah, man. They are supposedly working on a Marvel MMORPG. Marvel's been dominating some of the biggest spaces in entertainment for years now. And the realm of video games is no exception. Between Marvel Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, and series' upcoming projects, comic fans seem to be in very good hands when it comes to the future of superhero games. And if Marvel's current slate of games is any suggestion, the Marvel MMORPG may be in the works from the team behind DC Universe Online.
That is awesome news. I will wait to hear for more information.
I loved DC Universe Online when it came out. When it first came out, that was one of the ones that I actually subscribed to. And liked the
I remember.
And I actually fucking bought DLC so I could get the Green Lantern shit. Like, I made my heroes in that, and it was so good. The fucking stories and the grinding and the loot, everything came together flawlessly. And I feel like that is the perfect studio to have course correct Crystal Dynamics Marvel Avengers.
I would say so. Yeah, that seems the accurate approach.
I mean, because even in this article, they keep going on like what Crystal Dynamics did wrong and what, these guys can do right. I'm just focused on what they could do with a good Marvel MMORPG. Like, just have it, boom. Eastern region, start off the game, eastern coast of America, and make that your MCU. You got your New York. You're going to have different places with different heroes and shit, and have your different starting locations for your hero to where you have your 4 classes. You have a different place, just like with DC Online, to where you could pick your hero, and that depends on where you start. Have that in the same Marvel sense. And then make your own Marvel hero. I would love that. Who doesn't want to make their own fucking superhero in a game? I feel like that would be the perfect thing for an MMO.
We had a plethora of games that was like Freedom Force and City of Heroes, and like that is still relevant today.
And why not have one of those games at the forefront with Marvel? You know what I mean? In this next gen console generation, starting off strong, having a good MMO. Boom, this is our Marvel dick. You hop in our universe as your own hero, and you go on with all these popular heroes as mentors, and you can keep going with that. Those are some of the best games to where you can pick your powers and then go along with the story. And X-Men had a game like that. Marvel Avengers, I will say, it did fall flat, especially with the Spider-Man DLC just being literally adding Spider-Man in there. and nothing else. It just,
Yep.
besides a cutscene, it just kind of, it was a very disappointing end to the Marvel's Avengers scene. So, with this MMORPG, I kind of hope they go along the lines of the Old Republic and what they did. They're still churning out content.
Fucking 10 years later, we talked about it a couple podcasts ago, and I'm reinstalling right now.
Oh no, I'm gonna hop in on that. We got to play that this week.
Okay, let's do that.
But it's one of those things where I want it to be like that. I want a good MMO Marvel game to be like the Old Republic. Kelly, what character? Do you want to see them do just Avengers in a Marvel game? Do you want them to see, go all over, like Avengers and Defenders and every different character?
I would love to see a smorgasbord of Marvel characters, not just one or the other. I'm a for, like I said, like with the movies, I'd like to see more mixing of the Marvel multiverse. I don't know. I'm just a big fan of that.
Just having everything. It's what they did with the DC Universe Online.
Yeah, like when they did Marvel versus Capcom. Like, for example, Marvel versus Capcom game, it wasn't just this or that. It was like a bunch of different Marvel characters that were all in different multiverses fighting each other.
All really buff.
Yeah, that was a fun game too. Until they made the third one sucked, but 2 was the good one.
But still, having that expansive multiverse and having all the characters together, swinging around as Spider-Man and then meeting up with like Daredevil or, Human Torch, or swinging by the X-Mansion and stopping by to say hi to, Professor X or Wolverine. That's the kind of thing that we should have in this game, Even if you just centered the game around New York, you could still have a bunch of different characters involved.
Yeah, New York.
Yeah. Hell's Kitchen. We'll just make it Hell's Kitchen.
I would still love a Daredevil game. I think a Daredevil game would be
Daredevil
fantastic.
games definitely be pretty cool.
I think
it would just be like Batman, how like in the Batman Arkham games where you can use senses and stuff.
The detective sense, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't have that the whole game though. That would have to be an extra sense.
I would love to play a game as a blind man. That would be a really fun game.
It just. What would it be like to be a blind superhero?
Where am I going?
The new Daredevil VR experience.
I will tell you what. The graphics in that game would be very cheap to do.
Oh my god, yeah.
Best graphics money can buy.
I don't know. Everything's black.
Black
screen.
Yeah. Black screen with subtitles, and that's all you get.
Hang on. No, you do the Ben Affleck Daredevil game to that way. All you have to do, the only kind of visuals you would get is if it's raining, and then you would get the red kind of rain and sound effects and everything, and then you'd be able to see.
I thought you were kind of taking this the whole different route, like Ben Affleck signing the contract for Daredevil, like his inception to that. That would have been great. He was like, "Hey, I was saying Kevin Smith,
a Ben Affleck VR Daredevil game."
I would like to see it's neither DC or Marvel.
Okay.
I would like to see though, like as like a Easter egg character you can play as like either Kato or Green Hornet.
Okay.
Just even he's not Marvel or.
Let's
DC,
be honest. It would be Kato, and then Green Hornet would just like always take credit for when you took. Yeah. Green Hornet would always take credit
like that.
For
you would
everything,
be Kato,
every mission
pretty much,
you
and
meet.
he would just be like your sidekick that follows you around.
Yeah, but he would just take credit for everything that you did. Like, look how I beat everybody. Like, oh my god, Green Hornet, that's so great.
Well, he has all the money. I mean, he's paying for everything. So.
Well, that doesn't mean it's shit.
The one thing Green Hornet
the
had was
workers,
always,
damn it.
the one thing Green Hornet had was always storytelling, which, by chance, is the next story.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Because procedural storytelling is exploding the possibilities of the video game narratives. Procedural stories in video games often induce a specific kind of delight. You'll know when it hits, a realization that the code and algorithms of the game seem to be generating a coherent narrative from your own impulse, seemingly chaotic actions. It's what 2020's sensational Blast Ball and this year's breakout indie hit Wild Myth shared in common.
Wilder Myth.
Wilder Myth? Is that
Wilder
what it is?
Myth?
Wilder Myth?
Wilder Myth. Dwarf Fortress as well.
Yeah.
We'll just call it Game of Thrones.
So essentially, what they did with
Shadow
this,
of Mordor's on here too.
we all know procedural generated environments. We all know procedural generated everything. This is procedural generated storytelling. And
So it's Dungeons and Dragons in video game.
yeah, that's essentially what the whole article was trying to say.
Yeah.
So we have an
Dragons-
AI dungeon master.
Yeah. AI
That's
Dungeon
pretty
Master
cool.
might be the title of the podcast.
Isn't it
Your
crazy?
guns to AI dungeon master.
Isn't it crazy how like D&D was looked at as like, oh, you're so nerdy, you suck, but now it's like becoming popular again.
I just
Yeah,
imagine-
we gotta reach out to Doug and do the Perjanger D&D.
Yes, but I just imagine the most nerdy guy ever with the fucking taped horn rim glasses just in a fucking tuxedo walking down a red carpet like, oh my god, it's Major Master 20. Major Master 20, please come interview us. And then,
Sector 9 of the G-Force says we're not supposed to do that.
what is your inspiration going into this D&D match? I'm like, well, I'm just trying to keep a level head and make sure the narrative goes straight and forward and making sure that everything
followed
is...
all the rules in the Section G of the 36B.
I mean, let's
says
be
that-
honest. I'm a level 20 mage. Nothing can stop me right now. Kind of. I just imagine that kind of like esports Dungeons and Dragons kind of level, but that's not what this story is. This story.
You know what I want though? I want Greg Proops to narrate it though. That would be awesome.
Okay. I will allow that. Drama, as video games continue to prove, is harder to convince players of than space itself, which makes procedural success all the more eye-catching. From mainstream hits such as The Sims to cult classics like RimWorld, now it feels like this sandbox approach to storytelling is starting to bear even greater narrative fruit. If you ask game makers about their origins of the procedural narratives, you'll get nothing resembling
Hold on,
consensus.
They use The Sims as a reference?
I think Sandbox coins been going up too.
Yeah, they use The Sims.
Gotta
I mean,
start
it
somewhere,
was
I guess.
procedural kind of generated with the homes and shit like that you would get.
Yeah, and then
The
the
people?
masochist, some people would just block in, fence in the sim, and they would just die.
You fence them
No,
in
no,
a
no,
little
no, no, no,
room
no.
and you take
Those
away the
Or
word
let
you
them go
want to
swimming
be
and take
themselves
out the
and
ladder.
die.
Those were people who were just interested in playing God.
That was
Black and white.
I was
Because you
interested
wanted
people.
ghosts in the basement to haunt the place. That's
Yeah.
all.
How
How
can
do
I
you
make
get
this
ghosts?
uncomfortable for everyone? And how can I completely just do the wrong thing in this game?
Look, man, who hasn't put their sim in a room and deleted the door just to make him pee himself? Oh my God, I pissed myself. I can't believe it. And they would have an existential crisis. I mean, you're the psychopath, really.
That's
Not
that's
me.
pretty much like this generation.
and that's what's wrong with America.
No. That's totally fine as long as you ask them their gender pronoun.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
you mentioned steering it on the tracks for newcomers. You mentioned, old man, Dwarf Fortress. It can be intimidating. Beneath its
that what you
mass
call it, your Dwarf
inscrutable ASC2 icon lies a fiendishly complex simulation. On a basic level, it's the world filled with flora, fauna, and foes and resources, plus, of course, your dwarves. all of whom have unique personalities.
Order to mine.
Your job
Mine.
is to ensure their happiness by building a colony that can satisfy their various needs, and thus, there's another picture below of the mine. There we are.
Wow,
Yeah, it's an impressive mine, man. Satisfy their needs and
something.
ensure their survival of the group. You may ace colonization itself, but suddenly a gigantic monster kills half your group, which means you fail at bringing in the harvest. Just like that, the colony is no more. It sort of naturally creates these stories, says Austin over Zoom. That's a weird name. And because you're invested in the personalities all along, the drama happens in your head. Along with, that's where that Dungeons and Dragons
You're like,
kind of
"Hey,
thing
wife."
comes in.
Yes.
It's-
What should we call our son? Austin over Zoom.
Parents hated you.
But that's the thing is,
I will allow it.
this is all a story in your head with your imagination, which is a completely new concept apparently in this day and age when you constantly have
Yeah, I called that the 80s.
interface in front of your face like a fucking zombie. So actually using your imagination is now a goddamn generational fucking astounding amazing idea.
Anyone here remember when you had to use your imagination? No?
Like when you had to take
Holy
a shit
shit.
without a cell phone.
Going outside. Yeah.
Anybody taking a shit without a cell
22 years
phone?
old.
You remember eating cereal in the morning and reading the box of cereal like it was the newspaper?
Because it's
Still do.
all you had.
It was all you had. You just had a cereal box like, there's vitamin B
It
in
still
here.
says Captain Crunch.
And the cereal actually was connected to whatever TV show you were watching because you wanted to see the connected story.
yeah, we never got that
it was-
cereal. We got the bags. But
No,
that's
we got
not
the bag
point.
stuff. It was still good though. It was the same, just cheaper.
I was happy with Cracker Jack.
And
you rich fuck. Fucking Cracker Jacks over here.
It's like
We had Cracker Pops. But
I don't know how to segue that.
I don't either. But no.
Next story.
Yeah. Procedural generation may be the future, but another thing that's the future, well, that's rats playing Doom. Oh, yeah.
rats.
Rats named Carmack and Romeo are playing Doom. Now, this is the fucked up part. There was the video, but there were actually 3 rats, okay? Carmack,
Did one
Romeo,
did they team up and kill the other rat?
Carmack, Romeo, and Tom. All right?
Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
I can see why Tom went.
But they didn't mention Tom. Tom was the forgotten
You never
beetle.
talk about Tom.
Yeah, Tom's the
What's this
forgotten
guy
beetle.
doing?
Now, this is it. They're
That's
essentially, they just keep walking forward and they say this is playing Doom. But as far as a rat goes, this is actually pretty impressive getting a rat
I guess.
because they have the hand in the back to where if they can't move back, because if they want to move back, that little robotic arm pulls up on them and kind of nudges them forward.
they're not really playing the game. It's just drinking the juice out of the
Well, it's
thing.
the reward center. So he's getting them like right here.
Hey, he's playing Doom,
Let me see him
killing
shoot
some
this
he's
thing.
not
imps,
even shooting the
sipping
guy.
his gin
There.
and juice.
No,
Oh, he got it in.
That's where the robot arm comes into play right here, to where he said he didn't have time to reinforce the behavior of shooting mechanics, but he had the time to reinforce the behavior of walking. So the main thing here is that he got rats walking through Zoom in a straight maze.
Now make them go.
But he
in
also
left and right.
experimented with the fighting here, and he had 3 different rats: Carmack, Romeo, and Tom. Tom was actually the one who was more inclined with the shooting. So, maybe don't include Tom in future studies. That's
Tom's a
how
little trigger happy.
that's how Planet of the Rats happens, all right?
I'm just a rat playing my Doom.
I'm just a rat in a cage.
Despite all my rage, I'm just a rat playing Doom in the cage.
Sipping my gin and juice.
But the really cool part is that he got rats to play Doom, man. I mean, this is just another good, feel happy story of trying to make hey, we're talking about Doom again.
Still,
It's
40
my own.
years later, we're still
talking about Doom. Yeah.
about Doom.
Yeah. But rats are playing Doom now, 40 years later. You know? I mean, hey, they had a little process to go through. And technically, they just walked forward. So we still have a long way away
We'll allow it though.
rats actually playing Doom. They're not going in on real tournament and getting top kills, you know?
No.
They were walking forward, which most people in our day and age, we're surprised that most people can walk forward and breathe at the same time.
It's very true. Very, very true.
But one thing we're also astounded at is the end segment, which is, what would your sci-fi dream job be? Any kind
Holodeck
of
installer.
All right.
I would be the holodeck installer.
You'd be perfect
You
because you're
wouldn't want to
IT.
be the holodeck cleaner.
Oh,
No, I don't want to be the cleaner.
no.
That would get way too messy. Holodeck installer, because I would be the one testing out all the programs.
God, it's all common
put-
shit. What the hell? Why did I take this job?
Why is this holodeck program send hentai and it has Bucarel on it?
Hey, man, I don't clean up. I don't clean up. I don't ask questions.
All right. Let me tell you which mine would be.
All right.
I have a couple, so I hope I don't repeat anyone's, just because
That's
I
all right.
couldn't decide which one was best.
Keep firing off.
Keep shooting them out. Someone will catch them.
Giga.
Avatar
Finger guns.
operator. So Avatar operator.
Oh, that's cool.
All right.
Um,
That'd be pretty dope.
Ghostbuster.
Oh, yeah.
Less kind of on the Ghostbuster because I
My
know they
favorite
haven't.
because I love the movie and I love.
I know they
I
haven't put the
love-
physical harm in there, but that dog
My-
had very sharp fucking razor teeth, okay? And those dead people could have probably given you tuberculosis, all right? There's problems with being a Ghostbuster.
Avatar and Men in Black are my two favorite, or my two that are like that. So I would be Men in Black, but my favorite altogether, because I love the post-apocalyptic, cyberpunk, dark synthwave, everything. So a replicant hunter from Blade Runner.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Let's hope you don't get it wrong. Just saying.
Oh my God, that was a little girl. All right, guys, my bad. My bad. I was wrong.
Insurance covers that, right?
Just here, call that number and file a
The
claim.
number on the back.
I just love those kinds of like that movie and
Call the number and
42.
file a claim. The insurance adjuster will give you money for your dead daughter. I'm so sorry.
oops, sorry about that.
God, that is a comedy in the making. I love that choice. I'll tell you right now, on your choice of Men in Black, my first choice would be the greeter of Men in Black. That guy who just sits
He's
there
so
at the front
boring.
door.
He
Dude,
reads the paper.
he reads the paper. He's just making sure. Yep, that's Jay. Yep, that's K. You only got 26 letters you got to worry about, man.
There's more people that work there than that.
26 letters, that's it. Maybe a couple J's, a couple F's, maybe a couple B's. Throw a little S's in there for spice. And, the door greeter.
Excuse
Anybody
me,
else?
I'm
Gets
a silent
neuralized or
J.
shot.
Yes, I am Jay, but I am a silent J. Thank you.
I
J,
could
K, and
imagine
yeah.
Anna.
It would actually be silent B. It's a silent
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I thought immediately that greeter, because all I did was he just sat there, read his paper, had a good life, probably had bagels on Tuesdays, Yeah, that old
He
person.
was probably retiring. He was probably an agent, and then
Yeah.
you can't do it anymore. So now he's got put on door duty.
Well, I got to
Yeah.
do something, God damn it. I'm going to be the greeter.
He's on his third wife. He's got lots of bills to pay.
Beatrice loves my job.
He's got lots of bills to pay. Child support still. No, I guess he's probably not that. He's got.
Holy fuck! This guy's like 80. How many kids did he have? He's like, yep, still
He's got
paying
lots of
child
grandchildren
support.
that need to be spoiled. So
That's worse than student loans. This guy
He
is
loves.
2
he's
feet in
waiting-
the grave.
He's waiting to get his severance package. So
even that's going to get taxed from his child support, man. You got to think about that. Even the old man and his 87 kids is off before that.
He likes the benefits. All right. He's just waiting for the benefits.
You want the juice? He liked the juice.
He liked the juice. Huh? The juice is good, huh?
But ultimately, I mean, sci-fi job-wise, I would have to say, I mean, kind of like that knick-knack job on the Enterprise. You know, I don't want to be in charge of anything important, like science station, where I'd have to know a lot of dilithium matrix shit or engineering. But I'd like to just be on that main class ship. So that way you have the access to the holodeck.
He's the guy that just keeps pushing buttons. Wouldn't the doctor be kind of useless on a starship? Because all you have to do is just grab the thing and just you're healed.
There you go, transporter room. I would want to be the transporter guy. I'd be able to want to put you here to there, and that's it. That would be my job.
One better.
He's the guy who pushes the bloops and the bleeps.
I want to work in 10 forward.
Fuck, you got me beat. 10 forward, man. All you got to do is here's your drink.
Chill.
There you go. And you still get the holodecks. You still get all the fucking, regular replicator stuff. Has to taste differently, though.
It's probably fine.
Than actual food. You wouldn't notice either way.
No, I wouldn't.
It'd be fucking all cardboard to you.
The same.
I'm just saying. I think there would be a definite taste distinction between replicator food and regular food. It's something that Star Trek hasn't really. No, they did in Deep Space Nine, because Captain Sisko's father had that restaurant on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, the explored territory. Unlike Star Trek, yeah. But Big Brother, what was your choice?
10 forward.
10 forward.
10 forward.
Old man, what was yours?
Work behind the bar.
Holodeck installer.
Yeah. So we all have our choices, and we want you to put yours down below, as well as like and comment. And, of course, this is a long drawn-out goodbye. We want you to hop on over to pjandwh.com, where you're going to find all of the crazy and luggy and nutty moments right over to my stage right. And, of course, got to hit the button. Until next week, I am Matthew Beager, the Batman. Kelly Collins, our Iron Kelly. Christopher Bristow, the old man. Big Brother, Stephen Newground, producer. Link Diablo.
Check us out on Sunday.
Our hero of time. Editor, producer, and knob gobbler, Kelly Collins. We love you. We miss you. We want to see you next week. Until then, game on, boys and girls.